You motherfuckers know what time it is. It's full time. No, it's time for the motherfucking. I think it's the third episode of the fucking Big Brother Beatdown. You can call it a Big Brother Beatdown because I've been beating that ass so bad he ain't been wanting to get back on the motherfucking microphone. But we're back. We are back. There's been so much news, so much stuff to talk about. For the casual fans, not as much. But as far as big topics like Mayweather McGregor, but Jon Jones just tested dirty. His B sample came back, meaning he's soon to be stripped of his title. Daniel Cormier is going to be re-given his title. Man, that means a lot of things. So without further ado, let's get into it. You got anything you want to say for in your lengthy absence?
You ain't been beating nothing, man. That's about it for now.
All right, well, it is what it is. So I guess first things first, we'll talk about Mayweather McGregor for a second, just for a second. So going into the fight, you had Mayweather winning. Did you have McGregor lasting 10 rounds?
I didn't really think about it, honestly, as far as rounds go, this and that. I'm a little disappointed after that body shot, man, and they said McGregor low blowed him. I wanted to see what was about to happen.
Yeah, you were the one that told me about it because, like I said, I fell asleep during the fucking shitty-ass undercard. I don't fuck with something like that. But that was probably, not all it's not like it was a fucking sleep aid. If you were tired, it was going to put you to sleep. It wasn't going to keep you awake. So it didn't help that I was already up early that day and shit. So it's not like I watched it and it's the fucking... What's that? The Sandman sprinkled sand on my eyes and it put me to sleep literally. But I did fall asleep during the undercard. Not that big of a fan of boxing. But yeah, you were the one that told me about that fucking body shot. The body shot that you said what the ref called a low blow, and I put a clip up of it. And it looked like afterward McGregor kind of was going to take his back for some reason, like...
Maybe I don't think he's gonna take his back, man. Once you stumbled over like that, what's stopping McGregor from giving him that uppercut?
Yeah, yep, with that left. But the thing is, going into the fight, people thought the refs and the judges were all gonna be on Floyd Mayweather's side because it's Vegas, it's boxing, it's his sport. He had hometown advantage, it's his arena, yada yada yada. Conor had everything built up against him going into the fight, cutting off his mic at the press conference, the whole Paulie drama going on, Paulie telling his fucking training secrets. I mean, Conor still went in there and got paid. The fact that he lasted 10 rounds after all the bullshit, to me, fucking, I don't think he held an L. I don't think he took a loss on his boxing record. His MMA record's 21-3. It didn't go to 21-4. Who gives a fuck about that one? It's not even on the record he cares about. He's 0-1. He could be fucking 0-2 in a fucking tennis tournament. No one would know because he's a fucking MMA fighter. No one cares about his wrestling record, his boxing record, his jiu-jitsu match record because he's a fucking MMA fighter. So it's not like he even took an L there. So on top of not taking an L, he made more money than he's ever made. He got extra sponsors. He was able to drop Reebok for that fight, get Beats by Dre, fucking big sponsors. He got $30 million to show plus pay-per-view points. So regardless of him taking the actual loss, the fact that he made it 10 rounds and all of that other shit, nothing but wins. Now he can afford shares in the UFC because he was talking about before his last fight in the UFC, he said, if they want me to come back, you're going to have to talk to me about getting some shares in the company. They just sold the company for $1 billion, $4 billion, however much. Hey, I think I'm worth a big part of that. And now Jon Jones' B sample just came back dirty for steroids, which means he's going to get a 2 to 4 year suspension. His win's going to get overturned versus Daniel Cormier. He's going to fucking get stripped of his title, taken off the pound for pound rank, and be gone for who knows how long. So now Conor McGregor has that much more fucking power in the UFC. Ronda Rousey took 2 losses, went and got married, talking about going to the WWE. Jon Jones was looking like he was going to be a savior, the next star again. He's back to Jon Jones. Just fucking pop dirty again. So that gives Conor McGregor more power. I know you had Jon Jones going into the Daniel Cormier fight. Did you think he was clean, or were you not even thinking about that?
Yeah, I don't really think it matters. I feel like, especially after it happened, I know steroids probably do matter, but it's just Cormier's taking something too, man. They all are. Hey, I know you've said that too. Somebody's always taking something, but the way it ended, man, you're crying. You did lose. Sure, Jones is tested positive. His belt's going to get taken. But my thing is now they can't just give Cormier the belt back. He can be the number 1 contender, but make him fight another guy, and the winner's the champion. Take Jon Jones' belt from him, but it's vacant, because after you get embarrassed like that in front of everybody, I don't want to see you. You're the champion. You're not the champion right now, man. You need to beat somebody else up, and then I'll feel comfortable.
Yeah, it's funny. Somebody on Full-Time MMA in the comments said they don't want to see Daniel Cormier giving the belt back. They want to. There's a number one contenders fight that was supposed to happen between Alexander Gustafsson and Volkan Ozdemir. I know you probably don't know who they are, but the winner of that would be who fought Daniel Cormier next if he was given the belt. So they were saying. It's not scheduled yet because Gustafsson, he's the number one contender. He was going to fight John Jones. He was the closest person to ever beating John Jones. It was going to be a rematch. So he was going to fight John Jones, and Ozdemir was right on his tails.
So
but
he needs to fight Cormier now. I feel like he should fight Cormier now. Gustafsson and Cormier should fight again, and then winner of that's the champion, and they can fight this Ozdemir guy next.
That's a good call. They have fought once, and Daniel Cormier beat Gustafsson more dominantly than John Jones did. Alexander Gustafsson put John Jones in the hospital. There's a hospital after John. Go ahead.
We're just gonna clear this up now, though. John Jones is the better man between him and Cormier. Don't get Cormier might be the best now,
Do you mean
but
like father? Do you mean professional?
I mean as far as fighter, right? When these guys get in the ring, I don't care if they're 50. I'm gonna pick John Jones to win. Like I say, Cormier had to lay on Anderson Silva. If you're the champion, you're the champion. You can't hate on that. But the fact that you had to lay on that old man, I'm not gonna be too big of a fan of you. And you got head kicked after you said you ain't gonna get head kicked. And anyway, you were crying, man. You just wanted to leave the arena. And I've never been in a situation like that, but it's not a good look at all.
I hear you, but I disagree. I don't think a clean John Jones can beat Daniel Cormier, or he wouldn't have cheated in the second fight. In the first fight, all right, you got caught cheating, whatever. The first fight, you chalk it up to whatever you want to chalk it up to. You can say it was dick pills, so you might have been clean. In the second fight, if you're clean, okay, you're the better man, the better fighter, as you're saying. I agree. But the fact that you knew you already got caught cheating once, and you're fighting against the guy you already beat, but you still feel the need to cheat. You've already beat Daniel Cormier. If you're going to cheat, wait till you beat Daniel Cormier again. You already know you can beat him. Why would you cheat against a guy you know you can beat? But now, as far as you said, Daniel Cormier, you said that. I want to respond to that. Daniel Cormier, they're all on something. Someone else said that. He said, I'm a wrestler. He said, I'm a wrestler, and I know 90% of the wrestlers are on something. So Daniel Cormier might have never been caught, but some people believe all of these guys are on something.
I do. To get to that level, you know what I mean? Sure, you're all good fighters, but you're all taking something in order to recover fast enough to build the muscle you need to. And just like I said, this is the best condition Cormier's ever been in. He's definitely, you're going to tell me he ain't on something now? He to me, he used to look like a fat boy all the time. And it's just like, again, I'm just against that in the ring because what happened to my man Kimbo when they let Roy Nelson lay on him. I was excited, man. And it killed the whole entrance to Kimbo for me. So when I seen Cormier Silva, it's like, oh shit, is Silva back? See this happen. And he was giving it to Cormier. And then Cormier had to lay on him. And it's like, man, come the fuck on. Again, I just hate seeing that shit happen because I don't watch every UFC event. So when I'm actually interested in one and it ends to somebody laying on top of somebody else, it's like, man, come on, man. That's why I don't watch this shit.
That reminds me of the Rampage Rashad shit back in the day, because that's when I was a casual fan and I really liked fucking Rampage. And then when I seen Rashad do that boring ass pointing him out shit, I was like, come on. And you know, a lot of people were like that with Anderson Silva. So when they seen Daniel Cormier do that to Anderson Silva, it really reminds me of that time. But it's like, but now the steroid thing with Daniel Cormier, it's like, man, I don't know. He's never been caught.
That's the best condition he's ever been in his life. And ain't he almost 40? That don't make sense. Like, maybe not in his life, but as far as I haven't watched him that far. But like the last 3 fights, maybe. Yeah. Like even against Silva, it's like he looked like he had a beer belly, damn near. No. And this John Jones fight, it was like, whoa, man, he showed up to fight tonight. Yeah, but the head kick.
I'll tell you an explanation for why he could have been in better shape than ever. Okay, so the commission passed this thing to where fighters were cutting too much weight, and they were saying cutting weight is unhealthy. So they were saying if you were like cutting a certain amount of percentage of weight, then they'll recommend you move up. Like if you comes in and after you cut weight, if you have like a 7% body fat or something less than that, then they'll recommend you move up because you're cutting too much weight. So Daniel Cormier said a lot of fighters are just coming in lighter. They're changing their diet to walk around lighter so they don't get recommended to move up a weight class, because he was a wrestler. Wrestlers are the guys who tend to cut the most weight. So for them to be trying to stop you from cutting so much weight, he's combating it by just walking around lighter. And like, you know, most of the guys that are on I was going to say, go ahead.
My bad, but maybe part of him changing his diet is taking one of these supplements. Maybe that's how he's changing his diet.
I mean, yeah. Hey, I mean, I don't know. The thing is, if that's true and all these guys are on something,
he's almost 40. He's damn near undefeated. Why would you change your diet just out of nowhere now? Like, yeah, they passed, that rule, but maybe you need help doing that though. Maybe there's a reason you never did that before on your own. Maybe I don't think he just liked walking around here. Maybe he did. I don't know. But
he was that Popeye's chicken.
Anybody undefeated with that record, all this wrestling bullshit, all that, and he's taking something, man.
Okay, I mean, and there's people that believe that. I don't believe it just because USADA, man, they took out Brock Lesnar, they took out John Jones. And now, him being an Olympic wrestler, they could just have the highest level Lance Armstrong real type shit. But John, I don't know, man, I don't know.
Don't they talk about them guys that are on steroids? Don't they like cry and shit like that? Because that's kind of what I was thinking when he ended up when he got. Maybe the concussion made him cry, but maybe that's part of the roids while he was up there crying and shit. That's what that night it happened. I was thinking, like, I ain't never said it really, but I was thinking, like, man, maybe that was some funny shit right there.
You know what? I never thought about that, but yeah, I do. I mean, there is that stereotype that they make you emotional and shit, but usually it's like an anger. They're not known for being. I don't know, man. Yeah, actually, crying. You do got a point there, but my thing is, maybe he's just got the highest level shit. But if so, man, I don't know. I think how many clean? There's some guys though. There's some guys that I believe are clean, like the Jorge Masvidals, like the people that are happy, like the people you see that are saying like, man, USADA's doing their damn job. I love USADA and shit like that. Like them people, I believe they're clean, but I don't know. There are I just don't really know how many.
But again, those people don't make it to Cormier's level. Like, I think the people that are at the top, that's what separates them. Because this day and age, everyone knows what workout to do. Everyone knows pretty much what to eat and drink. It's some supplements that I think are separating the people at the top level.
Now, these are my thoughts. Okay, so let's take steroids out of the equation. The best fighter on the planet would probably be somebody with a strong wrestling base that also did everything else kind of well.
Well, I feel like steroids are helping people be their best. I feel like if you gave them steroids, then you'd see who is the best at the top. And like, I feel like John Jones, Cormier, they were both on roids. The better man won there, John Jones. Like, let's take him. Let's not make him recover as faster. Let's not make him in prime condition, and then let's see him fight. Like, why they're gonna come in tired from their camps, and then what? Like, it's like I don't know. I can't kind of. It ain't like these guys are coming in world's strongest men just that much fucking. If everybody looked like Brock Lesnar, you're right. That shit's gotta go. But even Francis, man, they need to test this guy because he's looking like Brock Lesnar. So everybody starts showing up looking like them, then okay, that shit's gotta go. Or even if more concussions start happening. But I feel like to this date, people have been on it, and there ain't too many just physical freaks like that.
Okay, so now some people, and this is like some tinfoil shit kind of, they're saying like the UFC knows who's on it, but it's like if you piss them off, that's when you get flagged. Like John Jones must have pissed off Dana White. Because to me, Francis, he's not somebody that would have it. He's new to the sport. He's not someone that would have access, but he is huge. He is a monster. Yeah. But my thing is, if the people who say John...
You don't get that big natural, man. I'd have to watch a camera. He needs to have a camera on him 24/7 in order just to get that stereotype off for like a month, man. Let me see you 24/7 for a month. I ain't even gonna watch it. I might tune in sometimes, when you're in the gym and shit, because I ain't gonna watch it that much. But you don't get that fucking big natural, man.
See, okay, there's people in the comments that were just saying that on this John Jones video. They were saying to all you fucking fat dumbasses that don't know anything about gaining actual muscle, you see these guys and think that it's real. They said just looking at these guys, you would know that. Oh, they're almost all on steroids. Like, it shouldn't have surprised you, John Jones was. And to their thoughts, anybody built like that is on steroids. Me, I'm not a guy that's ever been a fucking bodybuilder. So I might be confused. I don't know who's clean and who's not clean. So I go off of USADA, their high level testing, because my thoughts are, why would the UFC want to bust Brock? John Jones might have pissed him off, okay, but why would they want to bust Brock? Why wouldn't they let Brock through? Or Junior Dos Santos, who was about to fight Francis, you could say they were trying to save Francis, but no, I don't think they would literally chop off their fucking stars' heads. They're gonna have to give Conor McGregor all the power now that this happened to John Jones.
The UFC's already too big, man. No matter what, they're stars. If you're a champion, you're a star. And when you defend your title, you're just a bigger star. Whoever's holding the title is a star, legitimately. So, like, it doesn't matter if someone gets knocked off because there's always another star. You're not excited about his fights, right? I'm not excited about him, but if I'm going to watch a fight in his division, then I'm going to watch Demetrius Johnson. Okay. He's a star in his division. It's just I'm not interested in them kind of fights.
Okay, so here's the thought. This is kind of changing the topic. So like Demetrius Johnson, you'd watch if you're gonna watch his fights, you'd watch him. Would you watch?
Watch his division.
Yeah, if you're gonna watch his division's fight, you'd watch him. Would you watch Demetrius Johnson like trying to go up and fight the next champion because he?
That builds interest. That's a headline. It's like, oh, okay, we gotta watch this.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That was a side topic, but yeah, man. So my thoughts are like. You said the UFC's too big and stuff, but it's still like John Jones is a crossover star. Like he's the dude everybody knows. You know, I just feel like they don't want to give they wouldn't want to put all of the onus on Conor when he's already talking about fuck the UFC. He said fuck the UFC. Right. I'm making my own shit.
This goes back to when you said the boxing undercard puts you to sleep. Boxing it's our generation, I guess. Boxing is just we're not that interested in it. UFC is what we watch, and I feel like it's already arrived. Like maybe Bellator is kind of trying to be their rival and creep up, but either way, it's still the MMA bracket. Like we're all, if we're gonna watch some fighting, it's gonna be UFC. We're not even this Canelo Triple G shit. I've never watched none of their fights. I hear their names, but it's like I'm not even interested in watching any of that shit. Boxing is boring to me. Like it is what it is.
I'm glad you brought that up. I didn't know how you felt really about boxing because you watched the whole undercard and stayed awake for it. So I didn't know if you were. Well,
no. See, and I kept it on the TV just because I didn't want to lose my good stream. The TV was muted. Like I wasn't that interested in that. No.
Hey, he had a good. Okay, so that's a good point. So you're not. I'm glad you brought up Canelo Triple G because I would have forgot about it, and that's a big topic. I would have forgot about it, bro, because I'm not interested in it.
I'm literally not gonna watch it. I'm not that like. And then what? Who fights who next? Like, well, want someone fighting Pacquiao or was Mayweather coming back or like who? I don't want to watch it. Like it is, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think boxing. I mean, there's people that, in professionals that say boxing's a dying sport because Pacquiao just lost to somebody you probably never heard of. His name was like Jeff Horn. Pacquiao just lost to that guy. Then
maybe they're trying to make Jeff Horn a star, but even then, Jeff Horn versus Canelo, Jeff Horn versus Triple G. Like, does that match up? And even if it does, who cares? Still, man. Like all our dads and them, I guess. Maybe you're gonna watch it with your dad or something.
And now, see, I'll tell you who cares. It's exactly. It's the older generation and the people who watched it. You know, like our cousin Tony, his dad was a boxing fan. So Tony.
Same time, Tony's not watching Canelo Triple G. Stop right now.
You're probably right. But if he would have watched more boxing with his dad, if he would have watched, because, Tony was still more.
And that's what I just said. Oh, maybe you're going to watch it with your dad. But if you're not with your dad, like, okay, again, maybe you watch it more. Maybe you're a fan of boxing now. But there's not too many people like you. There's not.
Even most of the people's kids, our generation, is only watching it with their parents or with their coaches, because there's a lot of MMA people who train MMA still study boxing because it's something you need for boxing. So like Steph Curry might know the best shooter that's only a shooter, and we wouldn't give a fuck because they're not an overall basketball player. But Steph Curry be like, no, I know the shooters in the league. So I'm just saying MMA.
Steph would never say that. Steph knows how cold he is, man.
No, I'm just saying he would he probably appreciates the Kyle Korvers more than the average.
Yeah, he's probably gonna appreciate. He's probably he's gonna say that's for up to you guys to decide shit like that. But I think in the inside he know. Well, yeah, he might not come out and say it. You're right about that. But.
Yeah. And so my point just is that, because there's some people who train MMA and stuff that listen to this. That's probably, even if some people are just fans, and watch the stuff for entertainment, but there's actually people who train MMA who are fans of MMA, but they're also fans of boxing because they use boxing. Now, they've got a boxing coach. They're probably close with their boxing coach, and their boxing coach loves boxing. He's not the wrestling coach.
I don't even know how we got here. I'm not slighting anybody who watches boxing. I'm just saying it's boring. There aren't too many people in our generation that are going to watch it. So that's why I was just saying the UFC doesn't have to worry about the stars going away. People just like talking about that, man. There's always going to be more stars.
What about in boxing?
Boxing's that's the old man's game, though. It is what it is. So that's the thing. The fact that they allowed MMA to happen, you used to not be able to do this shit, and that's why if you wanted to watch fighting, you had to watch boxing. Yep. Now that this shit is so big, it's like, why would I watch people just use hands?
I'm glad you're saying that. See, I've always been team MMA. You're not even really team MMA because you do watch MMA, and like as a fan, you would rather. That's good to hear. You'd rather watch MMA than boxing because that was my thought. I don't want to just watch the hand thing. That's how I feel. But I didn't know if that's just because I became team MMA or what. So it's good to see actual people have other people have that thought. But my thing was, well, how we got there, it was just because I was saying who's actually interested in like Canelo Triple G. It's the old guard, and also people who like still like some MMA people are because they train MMA. Most of the people who are on Team MMA that still appreciate boxing are the people who train MMA and not just the fans. Us as the fans are usually like, no thank you boxing. But there's some people on Team MMA who are still like, no, I'm still gonna watch Canelo Triple G, and they're talking about it. So that's why I'm glad you brought it up. But I honestly,
even then you gotta think about the people who train boxing, and maybe they're just gonna want highlights for some techniques because maybe they don't like boxing.
Hey, that's very true, and I think what you said about how MMA wasn't around back then, it wasn't allowed, it was looked at as barbaric. That's why boxing was really the closest thing.
And then you have people like Mike Tyson, and people who would literally get in there and throw him. It used to be boring. It seemed like there's so much of we're pit-patting, feeling each other out, trying to last to the 12th round. We barely get together, and the judge break it up. It's like they weren't even doing nothing. Like that shit's boring, man.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of faults to that it's 12 rounds, it's 36 damn minutes, it's 12 rounds. There's so many, like the clinching is so weird to me. But I mean, and that I'm biased there. But the Canelo Triple G fight, would you watch it? Like, let's say you had an alarm set for the main event. I don't know if it was an event to go to somewhere. Would you? I wouldn't want to be there for the undercard, but I mean, I do think I would watch the actual Canelo Triple G fight if I knew the time that fight started. If there was no undercard, it was just Canelo Triple G's coming on at 9 o'clock, I would probably tune in. But if you're telling me tune in at 6 p.m. and then you don't know when Canelo and Triple G are walking out, so you got to sit through that. I just don't want to really. Oh, and that's a night of a UFC fight. It's a fight night. But yeah, what were you gonna?
Well, so maybe if I had a sitter and like people was going out to the bar, we'd go watch it or something. But if I'm at home, I'd rather be taking a nap or on Destiny 2 or just something like that. Because I mean, even after the fight, like who you gonna talk about it with? Like, did you see who won? Yeah, okay. Unless it's a big knockout, it's literally a boring fight.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe if you had like some boxing peers, like you knew somebody was gonna ask you tomorrow at work, like, hey man, you watched the fight? You might watch the highlights. But I mean, yeah. So I'm just not too interested in that. But what I was saying though, it is interesting that the UFC's having a fight that night. It's a fight night. It's Luke Rockhold versus David Branch. You might know who Luke Rockhold is. He was the dude that took out Chris Weidman, who took out Anderson Silva. But the former middleweight champion is fighting another badass dude who's on an 11-fight win streak. But it's not a pay-per-view. It's not a big Fox card. It's a fight night card. Really, the main event and the co-main event are the draw there. There's a dude named Mike Perry fighting. He's a fucking savage. 11 wins, 11 knockouts. His name is, I almost said Iron Platinum Mike Perry.
I've heard of him. I don't know if I've seen him or not. I've heard of him, though.
Yeah, he's been making waves because he's fucking lays dudes out, knockout of the year potential. Yeah, he's one of my favorite up and coming fighters. He's only like 25 years old. He's got one loss. It was not his last fight. That was another knockout. But before that, it was one loss, and it was because he's a knockout artist. He's coming in head hunting. So the dude played the game. He said it after the fight. He didn't want to fight me. He was just trying to play the point game, so he didn't get knocked out, and that's what happened. Dude was just hitting him with the low leg kicks, just keeping him at distance, and not getting knocked out, which fighters are going to be able to do. A lot of these guys have fought headhunters who are trying to take their head off. I mean, if you go into a lot of fights with the people probably in your amateur career, you're going to be fighting, so anybody that's experienced has fought headhunters like Mike Perry, but he's still a fucking savage. But I'm worried that the guy he's about to fight, he's got like 30 something fights, so he's probably fought headhunters before. So my thing is, he can knock a lot of dudes out, but I'm just worried about his potential. But he's fighting that night. So since Mike Perry's fighting and you've heard of him, and then the main event, would you watch that over Canelo Triple G, even though Canelo Triple G is a pay-per-view if you had the choice? And I mean, let's say somebody was ordering it, you didn't have to pay, you were watching it for free. What would you rather watch, a UFC fight night with just two people you might have heard of, or that fucking Canelo Triple G?
Either way, it probably somebody would just have to have it on. Maybe you reminded me that Mike Perry's coming on, I might turn it on or something, but they haven't built up enough stardom, I guess, really, for me just on either one. I'm damn sure not watching the Canelo Triple G. Like I said, I'd have to have a babysitter. I'm not paying for my babysitter, and I damn even don't want to pay for my shit at the bar. You know what I mean? Because this shit's going to be boring. I'm probably going to be sitting there around 3 like, wow, this sucks. I should have sat at home.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even want to spend money after I'm sitting there not enjoying the fight. So it's just, I'm really not watching the boxing event. But again, if you were watching the UFC, you were like, come check this out. Or even if you reminded me, I'd probably turn it on or something. Yeah. But like right now, I'm not thinking to myself, I got to remember Mike Perry's fighting soon.
Yeah. I know how you are with people named Mike, though, so that probably ups you.
Well, I mean, the GOATs, man. Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, Michael Phelps, man. It's a great name.
I mean, you can call them the GOATs, but then that's if you're looking at the good side, but we're not going to get in it because, I mean, one of them's a pothead, one of them's a pedophile, one of them's a gambler. You know, I'm just joking, but...
Yeah. Well, see, we're only 11 months apart. You can't disrespect Michael Jackson like that, man. You just can't do it.
I'm just fucking around, man, but... All right, so we talked a little bit about John Jones. We talked a little bit about Canelo Triple G, MayMac. Are you interested in seeing Conor McGregor when he comes back? What do you want to see on that? Like, do you want to see the Pauly fight? Probably not. Or who do you want to see him in MMA? You want to see him defend a belt?
I'll tell you what, here's a good fight. Conor versus the winner of Canelo and Triple G. That's what I want to see. Because he's not coming back to the UFC. You guys stop it. He's not fighting Diaz. He's not going to do it. Does he come out? Has he came out and said it yet?
Yeah, they said they're coming back.
I don't even. I mean, I guess if we can do it, let's see it. But I feel like he lost the second fight too. Why would you fight Diaz again? You can't knock this guy out.
At a lower weight class, 155.
He's still Diaz. This nigga, you heard him talking. He eats these punches. That's what he does. He ain't fighting, but he's still eating punches. I guarantee you, he's keeping this shit ready. You heard this man talking. Conor ain't knocking him out. He's ate too many of them. And it's like, why fight him again? I don't see how the UFC can pay Diaz and Conor enough. I mean, they do have the money. They should be able to, but at the rate they've been, the minute they pay these guys something stupid, the minute you pay Nate Diaz some amount of crazy money, every champion deserves what Nate Diaz gets at least. Like, how the fuck? They're about to, it's not going to happen, man. It's got to be Conor versus the winner of the Canelo Triple G.
But now the winner Canelo Triple G, that's not gonna happen because Conor. That would be bad for Conor. That would be bad for Conor.
Conor don't give a fuck. He's gonna eat him too for $50 million. Like we didn't even get to talk about that. I'm not gonna say it was rigged, but I felt like that shit was kind of staged, man. All up to it. Conor's got no gas tank. Floyd's the best boxer, and sure enough, they gave us what we wanted to see. Like, you know, why would Floyd threw 2 punches in the first round? Conor's just doing stupid shit, wasting all his energy. Second round, what, Floyd throw like 4 or 5 punches? Maybe it was, I don't know, something stupid again. And then Conor's just doing that weird, just throwing punches and shit repeatedly. It's like, for $30 million, I'll tire myself out too. And then I'll let you punch me 5 times straight, and they're going to end there, jump in quickly and end it. Like that, I feel like that was kind of staged a little bit, man, because he wasn't. Usually you get punched, you're going to defend yourself. You might try and be wobbly and throw him back or something. Conor was just like 8-5 of Floyd's best punches, and then the judge got in there and ended that shit. That's how I feel like. And it was still like, Conor, I mean, yeah, you 8-5, but he don't have to stop it. But at the end of the day, it's like, well, I guess he ain't defending himself. I guess he ain't punching it. So sure, you can stop it. I just feel like it was damn near a play almost.
Mm-hmm. Oh, see, that's a whole nother level of Tim. Yeah, I don't know, man, because if that were true, man, then this fucking whole world would be shit. You know, like, I don't know, that would be so crazy. But even if not, I mean, I would take an ass whooping. You know, even if you knew you were gonna lose, you're gonna go in there and take the fight, no matter how the fight goes. But versus Canelo Triple D, they're not 40 years old. They're probably able to take your fucking head off a little more. You know.
But from what I've seen, though, I do feel like Conor is a good boxer, though. Like, I don't know. I feel like, I mean, maybe Triple G Canelo just that much better, but I feel like he was winning against Floyd. Like, if he just wasn't wasting all his energy, I think he could have beat Floyd. Floyd had to stay back, man. He had him in the corner a few times. That body shot, I mean.
Just like not through. If you Floyd's
just,
not gonna throw.
Well, he was just like repeatedly striking. He kept doing little hammerhead shit over the back. That's energy too, unnecessarily. I don't know. I just feel like. Again, that's the biggest question, is his gas tank. And sure enough, he comes out just wasting all his energy. Like, really? That's what you've been training for that shit?
But he still lasted in that fight longer than he's ever lasted. I mean, because in this Nate Diaz fight, in the first one, they say he tired out in like 8 minutes. And then in his next Nate Diaz fight, you know, he gassed again. Some people say when he was turning his back and running. So he still lasted a lot longer than he did. He lasted longer than 8 minutes.
It requires grappling and all that other shit. You can get tired from grappling somebody alone, man. But
him and Nate Diaz weren't grappling.
Maybe just I don't know what it was. Maybe he was throwing them. You know, they got them lighter gloves in the UFC. Maybe he was throwing the knockout punches, and he didn't realize Nate Diaz is a zombie. So I'm telling you, man.
I mean,
I feel like he won the second one, man, and you got to give Conor that W there. But why would you put these guys in here again, unless you're gonna stage this one and Diaz is gonna be like, okay, for $10 million, I will take this loss.
oh shit, man, man, I don't even want to talk about no shit being staged like that. I want to stay in La La Land, man, because and man, it's just fucking I don't think MMA is the only thing we got left that's probably real aside from the other. I'm talking about WWE. It already broke my heart when that shit was fake. I don't want this shit to turn into that, man. I don't want them to start doing that shit.
Well, see, me as a casual fan of it, that my heart was broke to WWE, so it's like I'm just UFC, you know. It's a matter of time. Heartbreak's coming, man. I'm sorry for y'all, but they got to get their $4 billion back.
Oh, fuck, man. I don't know. That's gonna don't break my heart and shit. But I don't know. That's crazy to me. Michael just stepped out for a second. His daughter woke up. So I'll talk about Conor's next fight for a second, man. I think now is Canelo Triple G. To me, that's less of an option than Tyron Woodley, and they're not even mentioning Tyron Woodley's name at this point.
Man, yeah, I'm a fan of Conor, man, but it's because Conor's a star. I don't want to see him versus Woodley. I think Woodley might hurt Conor, man.
That's why they're not Canelo or Triple G might hurt Conor.
No. Canelo, Triple G, they don't have to agree for the less padded glove. Him and Floyd had like less padded gloves, right? Didn't they agree on that the last time? Let's make this it's about the money, man. Conor wants paid. If the UFC can make it happen for sure, I'm watching Conor wherever he goes, man, whether it's a movie or what. Like I say, he's just a star. I feel like he lost to Diaz's second fight. I don't feel like he's the best fighter. That Aldo shit was nice. That left hand he throws, he connects, you're probably in trouble. He's a star, but that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think he is the best fighter though.
Yeah, I mean, being honest, he's not the GOAT in my opinion at all. He's got two. I mean, there's a lot of things you could say. I mean, and people always think, oh, I'm a Conor fanboy because I take Team MMA side versus boxing. But as when I'm just being objective talking MMA, to me, Conor's not the GOAT. He's not. He's won the belt at 2 weight classes, but to be fair, he's never defended a belt. And you can say he's like Nate Diaz. When he fought Nate Diaz, that Nate Diaz was ranked 15 before he beat Michael Johnson and got moved up to like number 6. So he was fighting like a guy that was way low ranked, and then he knocked out Aldo in 13 seconds. I don't know. There's always been questions about his wrestling, and when you talk about overall fighting, like someone like Daniel Cormier, to me, like Conor McGregor is great for what he's done. Like what he did at featherweight is fucking remarkable. That's great shit. He came out, he knocked out Chad Mendez, a wrestler, and then knocked out Aldo. But now when people talk about pound for pound, lightweight, he's only really had one fight at lightweight versus Eddie Alvarez. So it's hard for me to say he's better than Khabib and Tony Ferguson and Kevin Lee and all of these fucking lightweight killers whenever he hasn't fought any of them. And now he's going to fight like Nate Diaz again or Floyd Mayweather. So Conor's the biggest star, but as far as the greatest overall pound-for-pound fighter, I don't give him that nod. I give it to someone like Daniel Cormier. I don't even give it to Demetrius Johnson, though. Or who is it to you, the greatest pound-for-pound? Would it be John Jones still? To me, it's Daniel Cormier, man. But some people throw Conor's name in there, but I don't see that, like you were saying about the overall fighter thing in it.
To me, the GOAT's going to be Silva, man. Again, maybe he was on the roids, too, the whole time. Who knows? And then it's, what do you want to do? Go back to Fedor, I guess? Like, I never even watched Fedor. I always heard about him, but the shit he did sounds, incredible. So it's like, if Silva was on the shit, John Jones is on the shit. Clearly, all the best have been on the shit. Like, there was no even I think Cormier's on. And after, again, when you lose like that, even though you lost to John Jones, man, and you know what I mean, in the movies, the stories you hear about the heroes beating those cheaters and shit. After you get done like that, you're not the GOAT. I don't even no, Cormier's not the GOAT. You had to lay on Anderson Silva, and you got head kicked and cried in front of everybody. You're not the GOAT. You're a great fighter, but you can't be the GOAT. You're disqualified. Like LeBron has all those final losses. You can't pass Michael Jordan. That's just how it is. Cormier cannot be the GOAT. He's disqualified.
No. He's not. Versus Anderson,
He's not.
he's not disqualified. I swear, he's the fucking GOAT, dude.
No,
Versus Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva's a counter striker.
That was Anderson Silva off the shit you couldn't outstrike.
He's a wrestler. He's supposed to.
That was an old Ethiopian looking guy. I know he's Brazilian, but god damn, you couldn't beat this guy?
No, bro. What do you mean you beat this guy? You're the one talking about Anderson Silva's the GOAT. That's the fucking
but
GOAT.
I mean, he had already lost his leg and all that shit. Like, I feel like Silva, the minute he lost to Weidman, he should have retired. He's doing nothing but hurting his legacy up to this point, man. I mean, like, no, seriously. When
You say he lost his leg and he's losing his legacy.
yeah, right. But it's just like, even when I hear about a Silva fight, it's like, I don't even want to watch this. He's hurting his legacy. Like, what are you doing still fighting, man? Chill out. I know he didn't get paid much back in the day. The UFC should give him a cut, man, because he built the sport. That's why I still kind of watch. Silva was the GOAT, man.
I see what you're saying, but Silva's on like a 4-fight losing streak. He just got a win, but it was controversial.
Exactly. Everything up to that Weidman shit, just scratch that off. You got to ignore that. Like, I know it's hard
and what about steroids? Okay, so how do you feel about?
Wasn't in the same right. If Cormier disqualified himself, Silva did too, man. He should have quit fighting.
John Jones. He's still never. Okay, look. Now when we talk about losing,
check this out. See, John Jones can still come back from off the shit. He's only going to be what? He's 30 now. Even if he gets a 4-year suspension, which I don't think they're going to do because he's such a big star, somehow he's going to get out of this with the 2 years. He'll come back at 32. He still beat Cormier's ass. Cormier be 41. He probably ain't even fighting no more. But anybody else in 2 years, who's going to beat John Jones in 2 years? Name somebody who's going to beat John Jones in 2 years. No. USADA, man. John Jones will beat them too. He's going to go down to the office. No, but all seriousness, he's going to come back in 2 years and he's going to be at the top of the game still.
Fuck no, man. Because he can't get caught. What happens when he gets caught for steroids the third time? The nigga's going to be banned for life. People are already saying he should be banned for life.
He won't get caught the third time because he ain't gonna piss Dana White off no more. Like you said,
might go to prison.
What I'm saying is they're deciding who they drug test and shit, just like the NFL does too.
Bro, you're on some conspiracy shit.
Okay, not even the conspiracy shit. I'm just saying, you were saying how they're saying some people say they decide who they want to drug test. Well, they say that about the NFL too. All these rich niggas are smoking weed, bro. That's all I'm saying. Is all these guys. You know what I mean? Just come on now. Not in the NFL though. I'm saying. So as far as these drug tests, they keep busting all these Cowboys. Maybe the Cowboys are on the radar, but certain people like Pac-Man Jones getting in his shit. They focus in on you too. I think they choose like who you want to. They do want to test.
I mean, man, you've been getting a little conspiratorial just because choosing who they want to test and then talking about how the Mayweather McGregor.
No, I was just saying that off of you. I'm saying they say that about the NFL too. I'm not even going any more conspiracy. It's an MMA channel. Probably a lot of you guys don't want to hear this shit is like the WWE, but I'm just look for the heartbreak, man. That's why it's coming.
I hope not, but Daniel Cormier Man, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah, in the NFL, I was going to say, it was funny, John Jones' brothers, after he popped 30 the first time, they both popped 30 for the same thing. It's like, oh, shit, man, they were in the house. I don't know. But Daniel Cormier and...
all these guys, NFL players, NBA players, I'm saying they're all on something. Like, you got your body. I used to, I don't work out no more, but I used to work out. I mean, you're tired after these workouts and shit. It's hard to get back in the next day and keep going. Some people are all natural. But even for me being in the gym, I didn't see no people that look like these guys in the gym every day, doing 2-a-days in football practice and shit. How come none of these guys are looking like, the guys in the UFC? I think that's that shit that separates them at the top level, whether it's NFL, NBA, baseball. All these guys are just looking for the next legal thing. Oh, this is banned, then I'm taking this now. And they're just going to ban this, and now I'm taking that.
I do think there are some guys on the legal chase for something to help them if it's legal. And Daniel Cormier said he took supplements, but he's never popped dirty for the supplements.
The only way around it is to say then go all natural. Like these guys are, I guess there's a scientist somewhere. Well, this is legal. Like who decides whether this shit is legal or not? My thing is if you're not all natural, then you're on something. So if you're going to allow them to be on something, then let them be on something.
I mean, I see what you're saying, but as far as people who look like they're on steroids, look like Brock Lesnar, you say look like Francis, look like John Jones, Daniel Cormier's never had that physique. He's looked like a clean fighter. If he was on steroids, he would probably be cut the fuck up. They call him, he gets fucking talked about for being fat They call him fat, all that shit.
But
And if he was on steroids, why wouldn't he get?
Maybe he's on shit that just allows him to recover faster. Maybe it's not necessarily steroids. Maybe he's not on the ab lounge like that. Maybe, like you said, he's at KFC. But I mean, just as far as his recovery, his strength, you know what I mean? You don't have to. These guys are strong. You can be fat and have hella strength. I'm not saying that at all. I just hate whenever a fat guy lays on somebody in the UFC fight. Yeah. But these big dudes walking around, they got some of the most strength.
Yeah, no, and now that's what we were talking about before. But that's, to me, that's what he's a wrestler. He's supposed to do that to Anderson Silva, the greatest striker of all time. That's what Chael Sonnen was doing. Chael Sonnen almost whooped Anderson Silva's ass.
If he's supposed to do that, then do it from the beginning. The minute you come out and try and stand up, you're the GOAT. Then let's see the GOAT versus the GOAT versus GOAT. Let's see y'all strike. So you lost that, right?
Okay, but Daniel Cormier was also at a bigger weight class, so I mean he's not supposed to be as fast as Anderson Silva. He's not supposed to win that striking exchange, and this is MMA. Where's Anderson Silva's blame for not fucking getting off of his ass? Get him off of you.
Silva made a name for himself outstriking the top people. Like the highlights he used to do to people was ridiculous. So Cormier thought he wanted some of that. He realized this ain't no joke. I got to get out of here with the W, and that's what that was.
Okay, so the greatest of all time is going to get out of there with the W, no matter how. Michael Jordan, I'm sure they won some games going to the fucking line, no matter how much he wanted the ball.
Silva in his prime, he'd have been out there like Tyron Woodley, stopping every takedown. But he was an old man at that point. This guy looked like Anderson Silva. It looked like he didn't have no abs, man. Like I was like, what happened to this guy? I thought Anderson Silva was 50 years old in that fight. I was like, what the hell? Oh, you're beating Cormier's ass? Wow! And then all of a sudden he getting laid on.
Okay, but we got to come to one thing. Okay, Daniel Cormier, we got to regard him as clean. He hasn't been caught. He doesn't have the physique of a dirty fighter. And he's undefeated. That's the fucking GOAT.
Everybody's clean and they're caught, and you're not the GOAT when, like I said, we already went through this. You're You can get disqualified from the GOAT conversation.
Bro.
John Jones, to be fair, I mean, it's like we kind of want to disqualify him because this shit, but if he comes back in 2 years and never fails another drug test, he's back in the conversation because of what he's done already.
Okay, but only John Jones.
He's the
check
only
this
one
out.
That's in the conversation right now.
But okay, so
what?
What? John Jones is the only one in the conversation. Who's second? Who's second to John Jones?
We're gonna have to wait and see.
Okay, my thing about Daniel Cormier.
Bro,
you talked about
what I'm saying is the GOAT is the greatest of all time. It's okay for nobody to be in that conversation. Like in the NBA, there's really maybe Durant, and even then he lost his first finals. There's really maybe Anthony Davis. You're looking at these young guys who could potentially win a bunch of championships in a row. But as far as GOAT, Steph, I would like to give it to him, but he lost already too.
So you're saying that's what I was about to say.
Bro, Michael Jordan set the standard as GOAT. So to beat Michael Jordan, you got to top that.
Okay.
Like UFC, there is no GOAT right now. I mean, like I say, maybe Fedor, but people really are hating on Fedor.
Silva's got those title defenses,
It seems like, right. And like I said, I want to give it to Silva, but he's hurting his own legacy. He needs to stop fighting.
Yeah. So this is what I've got to say about the GOAT, Daniel Cormier. Listen about this. Okay, so you talk about Daniel Cormier can't be the GOAT. He's disqualified because of how he lost to John Jones. The only person that hasn't took a loss like that is John Jones. Conor McGregor lost to Nate Diaz, and he lost before. Anderson Silva been taking hella L's.
And that's why I'm saying John Jones is the only one in the conversation. If he comes back in 2 years and wins another 5, 6, 7 fights, he's the GOAT. MMA needs a GOAT. They need one.
Yeah, we got one. Daniel Cormier. Listen.
That's not good for your sport, bro. That's not good at all.
Somebody said that it's not good for the... It's good for me. I'm fine with it. No, that's the motherfucking GOAT, bro.
Fan,
no, because he's the GOAT. He's undefeated.
For some reason, some of you delusional people picked him against John Jones. And sorry for you, man. You got to get off the bandwagon.
I knew John Jones was going to have to be clean. Now, when he lost, I was like, what the hell just happened? And now I know why. It's because he was fucking cheating. He had to cheat against the clean GOAT. John Jones is the dirty GOAT. That's fine. John Jones is even over Anderson Silva as far as dirty GOAT. Because Anderson Silva has taken hella L's. Now, and Anderson Silva, see, we were casual fans back in the Anderson Silva days, and we didn't even watch Fedor. People talk and say, oh, you got to think about Fedor. You got to your knowledge. And
I was on the verge of becoming like a real. I watched Silva, Rampage, Chuck Liddell, a lot of them. I was starting to watch a lot of them. There was a lot of people I considered stars back then. But really, that Rashad Rampage shit kind of turned me away from everything. Like, the Ultimate Fighter, that's what I'm saying. I haven't watched the Ultimate Fighter to this day. I feel like it's all about the coaches. And we were just having this conversation the other day. It's like, for me to watch Ultimate Fighter, it was the Rashad versus Rampage. Like, you want the Ultimate Fighter to be huge? Put Conor McGregor versus somebody like Aldo. Put them two guys on there though. As the two coaches or something.
It was a guy from another division. But
wow, I didn't even know that. I guess I didn't know who Conor was back then. Maybe I would have watched that if he was a coach.
It was a good series. It was good.
And that's what to me it's like. You got to have them stars, man.
That's where TJ Dillashaw got the name Snake from. That season of Conor McGregor. That's where the whole nickname Snake came from. He was telling, because the other coach was Uriah Faber, the coach of Team Alpha Male. Now, he was at 135 pounds. Conor was at 145. So, Uriah they weren't going to be fighting after it.
See, I think the coaches should fight after every season, man. That was big time, I think.
Yeah. And that's why the Cody Garbrandt versus TJ Dillashaw one, I actually watched that one. I did recaps on that one, and they're about to fight at UFC 217. They were the coaches of the last one, and they got some real fucking smoke. So that was a good episode. Now, this one, they got Justin Gaethje and Eddie Alvarez. They didn't have no beef going into it. They're just like the coaches, and they're coaching female fighters.
Either, so it's like Alvarez, I kind of know, but
he just lost to Conor.
Yeah, but the Gacy though, it's like, why would I? I mean, yeah, again, what they're doing is making Ultimate Fighter for you hardcore fans. If you want to draw casual people in, you got to get these big time people to get on this show. Put Tyron Woodley on there or something. Like, again, maybe it's just a mystique, you know. Maybe they're not selling their fighters enough because, like, what built me into him is hearing him talk one day about how you said he fights the small battles and shit like that, and that's why people don't like him. It's like, you don't get to hear most of these fighters talk ever outside of right when they win. Mm-hmm. They need to give them more exposure or something.
Yeah. I mean, and I see what you're saying. Yeah, and I agree. It to me, like, I honestly haven't watched one episode of this season. Justin Gaethje versus Eddie Alvarez. They're coaching a new division of women. Like, the 125 pound is coming in, and the winner. But it's two dudes that, I don't know. They're not known for coaching. It's like you're getting they're not even like coaches. So why are they coaching these chicks? You know, and have no real beef going into it.
Alvarez kind of looked like some OG Mexican gangster type dude who's fighting off in the cut somewhere. So it's like he didn't even have much to say in front of the cameras.
Yeah, and he's like that. Like, and Justin Gaethje, neither one of them are about talking shit. Kevin Lee, hell of a shit talker, who wanted to do it, would have fought either one of them, and he would have made some smoke. He would have caused some smoke in that house. And no homo, Kevin Lee would have probably picked up with. That's probably why they kept him out of there, man. Because Kevin Lee would have. It would have been. I think he would have a lot of attention away from the fights and pause and shit. And he would have been talking trash to the other coach, making them mad. But I think he would have sold the show a lot better. Because, like you said, Eddie Alvarez, he's not a. All of these dudes are.
If you did Ultimate Fighter again with Conor versus Kevin Lee on there, and then they fought at the end of that shit would be huge. Like, that would be must see TV every week.
Yeah, good fucking point. When putting one of their biggest stars on there, that would be cold-blooded.
Conor more, but again, Conor's a star. They need to keep him out the arena. Like I said, if he does come back to UFC, Diaz is good because it keeps him away from another top competitor. And again, they're gonna let him go back. Like, who was that? The dude that just fought back, Dan Henderson or something. That was ridiculous for him to be able to go back and do that. So Conor will probably be able to go back and fight whoever he wants again, too. It's going to be a while before he defends that belt against a top contender.
This is the problem. See, now this is
they do that Ultimate Fighter
this interim title. There's an interim for Conor's belt. The next pay-per-view is Kevin Lee versus Tony Ferguson. Interim lightweight title. And the interim title means the winner fights the real title holder. That's Conor. But everyone's pointing that. All signs are pointing toward Conor fighting Nate Diaz next. The only way that happens is if Conor says, fuck the belt, fuck fighting a number one contender, I'm fighting Nate Diaz, I don't care about
UFC,
belts.
Though. The UFC is going to allow him to fight Diaz, so they'll probably allow him to say, we'll just wait a little bit longer.
What do you mean? But for the interim title fights happening coming up.
Okay, and then we have an interim champion. We know you fight Conor next, but guess what? You're not fighting him as soon as you thought because he's got to fight Diaz real fast. And then guess what? He might want another break.
They're going to have to strip Conor because Conor already showed.
They're going to strip Conor.
They already did once.
Like what, the second belt?
His first belt was 145, moved up and won the second belt. As soon as he won the second belt, they took that one so they can get that division going. How can you have an interim champion getting skipped by a ranked 7 Diaz? I understand if there's no interim champion, let Nate Diaz skip everybody. But if you've got a fucking interim champion, that's who fights Conor next. And if not, Give them the fucking belt and let them fight Khabib. And the UFC already promised Khabib the winner of that fight somehow.
Conor Diaz, then it just won't be a title fight. That's how we'll do that.
Exactly.
But Conor will fight Diaz, and you interim champion. You are the interim champion.
You're gonna be the real, or then they'll have to fight Diaz at like a catchweight. That's the only way they'll do it for not his belt, because you can't be the champion fighting at your weight while there's an interim champion. And check this out: Khabib is the #1 contender who's not fighting for that belt or the interim belt. But they said Khabib's gonna get to fight the winner of Kevin Lee and Tony Ferguson, and Khabib said he's only fighting for a title. So it's looking like Khabib's going to be fighting them for the real title when Conor gets stripped or whatever, because Conor said he's not coming back till 2018. Or his coaches said he's not coming back till 2018. So Conor, he said he's still the champ, even though he got stripped.
I consider him the champ.
Okay, so even if he gets stripped again, people are going to consider him the champ.
But they don't have to strip him again, because if they allow him to fight somebody else, they're not going to strip him. It's one thing if Conor was just running shit and said, I'm fighting this guy, fuck y'all, and then like, oh, well, we're stripping you. But they have to allow him to fight Diaz, which means they're okay with making this interim champion wait.
Okay, but how can you be defending an interim champ? Because they're going to be defending the interim championship in December. Conor's still going to be on break.
This is what it sounds like. These two guys are fighting, right, for the interim championship.
And they're going to be defending the interim.
And then Conor's fighting Diaz, and guess what might be on that card? Khabib versus interim champion. They're about to get punked, or they're going to be waiting. I'm telling you.
That's exactly what it would be, bro. It would be them getting punked, and it would be so bad in the public eye that it's not bad in the public eye, terrible.
Because it's not terrible at all, because Conor's the star here. Wait your turn.
No,
that's how the world works, man.
There's an interim, bro.
I don't give.
You can't defend.
Whenever Conor gets in the ring, I don't care who he's fighting. I just want to see Conor versus somebody. Okay. Whatever else is going on underneath Conor, that's for y'all to worry about. Okay. That's what you get for being under Conor. Wait your turn.
I understand that, but then just give up the belt. Fight Nate Diaz for no belt. Fuck the title.
No, why give up my belt? I'm going to fight Nick Diaz for a bunch of money, and y'all are going to wait.
Speaking of Nick, you said Nick. Check this out.
Check
this out. What if Diaz wins the rematch? But so people would feel like Nate. No, not Nate Diaz. What if Conor wins the trilogy?
Again, for the sake of y'all, I'm staying out of this conspiracy shit. But he would never beat Conor. They're not going to allow it to happen.
Okay.
He should have won the second time, so I put it this way. He probably should win the third one, but he's not going to win.
But, well, man, that chin's got to get – he got tagged. He got dropped in those Conor fights. Conor's gas tank's better. Conor probably could just beat Nate Diaz right now.
If they fight again, it's because, look, Diaz has been – if Conor comes back, it's for Diaz. That's why he's been sitting out, right? They're going to pay Diaz more. Diaz was already talking about retiring after the second Conor fight. He's already got more money than he's ever made. So this third one's probably going to be for – what did he get last time, like $3 million or something stupid? Mm-hmm. So even if they tell him like $7 million, or he started, what, $20 million, he just said the other day something stupid like that. So even if they meet him at $10 million, $7 million is double what he made. Somewhere between $6 million is double. Okay, so we say $6 to $10 million. He'll take the L for $6 to $10 million, then go retire. He's already fucking retired. He ain't fighting nobody but Conor McGregor. That's retired. He's like Mayweather right now. He wants to come back for a Conor fight, and that's it.
Okay, yeah, obviously all of these guys would take a L for more money than they've ever made, but we're not going to say that they're doing that because this isn't the WWE, and they're not scripting this shit, right. Okay? So what I'm saying is Conor McGregor don't need this shit to be scripted. He could probably beat Nate Diaz's ass, bro, at 155 pounds. No. He just went and boxed with Mayweather. His hands are better than they were before. His cardio's better than they were before. Conor McGregor, regardless...
Look, bro, I understand the touch of death, but the thing is, it's everybody except Diaz, because that guy, his head ain't going nowhere.
Eventually, bro, he got tagged and dropped just because he's getting...
And he got right back up.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
He's not a real zombie.
He's a zombie. That's Frankenstein.
Bro.
I'm telling you.
You've been watching too much Walking Dead, bro. After you get tagged enough, that's when your chin goes. His shit could go in the next Conor fight, bro.
From Stockton. He's been getting tagged since he was 7 and 6.
He said he's from Stockton. That's true. But listen, my thoughts are still... Conor's cardio has improved. Conor has do nothing but improve. Nate Diaz has did nothing but sit out and smoke weed and go to sign autographs.
Maybe that's what allows his head to take that much shit. Maybe it's the weed. Maybe it's the drug test Diaz. Maybe he goes in there high or something, and he just in the clouds, just eating that shit.
Okay, but Conor's been literally getting better, world class better. His hands have got nothing but better. He just fucking boxed Floyd Mayweather. His cardio.
Okay.
He probably would just beat Nate Diaz's ass at this point.
No.
But the thing is, you
Diaz
can't.
is too big.
My whole point is you can't have an interim title holder defending on while Conor's waiting out. Conor doesn't care about belts, like you said. No one cares if the belt's on the line. He can fight Diaz, and then what I was gonna say is, what if he moves on to fight Nick Diaz, boy?
He won't.
After Nate Diaz moves up and fights Nick Diaz,
needs to stop
who would you
fighting.
rather fight, Nick Diaz or Tyron Woodley? Nick Diaz, with all the Diaz history, instead of getting that Tyron Woodley problem.
Here's what Conor's gonna do. He can fight Diaz, right? Then he can sit out. Then he can say, "Oh, you're interim champion." Well, I feel like I owe Aldo one last fight. It's kind of bad how we did him. and then he can take another break. No. And he can do what he wants until the end. I'm telling you. Yes, eventually, we do want to see him. And guess against Aldo, he is defending his belt. It's like the interim champion. We're sorry, man. Eventually, you are going to fight Conor. You are the interim champion. You might have to defend this interim championship once or twice, though. Nigga, you're an interim champion. That's what you are.
Might as well call him the Intercontinental and shit like from WWE. Nigga. You're not the interim champion no more. You're the Intercontinental lightweight champion. No, but I think Conor can just give up the belt and do all of that. Now, I do think you're right. Conor can do whatever the fuck he wants, but after he gives up the belt.
He could give it up, but he doesn't have to.
He didn't want to give up the 145.
What I'm saying is they're verifying his claim more. The fact that he's already walking around, I'm still the two-time champion. If they take this other belt from him, then that really verifies. Like, that makes him like a god damn near walking around like, I'm still the two champion. I'm doing what I want.
Yeah,
these
they
are
took the belts off of me,
I don't matter. Right, that's what I'm saying. That didn't need to be untouched. But, like, you know what I mean? Before this guy made this absorbent amount of 30, 50, however many millions from Floyd, he was already a pimp to these guys, and they were already bums. He could literally have all them fighting in his backyard right now for what he just made. Like, he'd be the guy. He would be in his coat watching all these bums fight each other. Like, this man, okay. I don't think he's coming back, honestly, but we'll see.
He was already saying that before the Floyd Mayweather fight. I'll
That's what
change
I'm
your
saying.
bum life. Like, yeah, he was already disrespectful with the cash. Imagine what he's doing now, boy. Woo!
Yeah.
Conor McGregor, man, Eddie Alvarez wouldn't stand a chance in the trash talk. Now, boy, he made more money now. You already couldn't stand the chance with the trash talk. But, bro, Nate Diaz, Nate Diaz.
Give Alvarez a shot. I don't understand how they let the dude go back and fight Henderson, man. Like, that's gonna. How you gonna say Conor can't go back and fight somebody, but this guy did?
There wasn't an interim champion when he fought
He
Henderson.
might fight, and again, hopefully Kevin Lee will win it, and maybe they can set up that ultimate fight. That'd be the best thing for the UFC if they could get Conor and Kevin Lee on the Ultimate Fighter, whatever. Shit would be huge.
That would, man, that would be insane.
They have so many
And
viewers
back
each
in the
week.
day, bro, Rampage was kind of one of the biggest stars like that when they put him on there, and everyone
But
cared about it. I didn't
back
think
then,
about
probably
that.
Mayweather might have been making only $1 million McGregor. Fucking Rampage might have been making $1 million or $3 million, so that TV deal was a lot. But I mean, Conor, I've been saying he's a star anyway. He needs to go to TV. So like, could you imagine that every fucking week, bro, getting to see Conor do that shit? Like, not to be, it's just a fan. As far as entertainment goes, I don't watch much TV, but like, I would watch that shit. Him and Kevin Lee too. From the highlight, we did the fucking press conference and shit we seen, man. You'd want to see both of them. It brings that race shit they like to sell all the time, and it would just be huge for everybody.
That's a fucking amazing point. I didn't think about that, man. Conor every week, you wouldn't have the dangers of him fucking getting in a literal fight every week of getting injured and having the. It would be like every fucking week, Conor McGregor. Everybody would watch it, and if he's the interim champion, bro,
that shit would be nuts.
that would be bigger, damn near than the Nate Diaz because you could do it every week.
Mayweather, McGregor almost. Like, if you got the whole bill, you know what I mean? Because they had a few press conferences, they talk shit, but they be damn near getting into it like every week probably, or some amount of shit talking or just something. Like every single week, there'd be so much build up for this fight.
I'm over here fanning out, bro. That shit would be amazing.
It'd be the biggest UFC event ever, I'm pretty sure.
Dude, that would be so
And
good.
then fuck around and put.
It would be like Conor Floyd on a TV show, bro, because Kevin Lee
And
could
then
talk
have to put-
better trash than Floyd.
And then if you put someone like Woodley or Stipe or somebody on that card too, it'd be way bigger than that 205 shit was.
Damn, you got a fucking great point, man. The whole world would be probably tuning in every week,
What if
every
it was a
week.
few title fights. Even I guess put a girl fight on there. Even Demetrius Johnson on a big ass card. What if you put Mighty Mouse on a big ass card like that? Maybe that's what they need to sell him. Like,
Yep, put Joanna, Mighty Mouse, anybody on there. That's
Let
what they
Mighty
should
Mouse
do.
Come in and fuck around and get a knockout on a big card like that. Then everybody would be on his card. I'm telling everybody be watching him.
Bro, man, you might have just made the UFC some millions of dollars. They really need. I love that idea. I never thought about that. I'm gonna have to talk about that in a separate video. Conor McGregor versus the winner of Ferguson Lee on the Ultimate Fighter, or just Conor McGregor on the Ultimate Fighter, man.
Even Ferguson, I guess I haven't watched him too much, but I'm taking he's black Tony Ferguson, so I guess
he's Mexican.
a Mexican. Okay, well I mean I guess that sells too. White Mexican, I guess. Is he a shit talker, the Ferguson guy? Or no, I don't really know him.
He's getting better. He's
See,
not as good as Kevin Lee, but getting better.
Who's the better fighter?
He's like Lalo, bro. He reminds me of Lalo.
Who's the better fighter though, Kevin Lee or this Ferguson guy?
Kevin Lee is probably he's on the Kevin or not Kevin Lee. Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson gets the nod right now. Kevin Lee's hot on his trail, but Tony Ferguson's right now too.
Okay. Well, I mean from the outside, I know more about Kevin Lee and Conor. If Kevin Lee could somehow win this shit, I'm taking my tinfoil off. Wink, wink. Somebody help this happen. But put Kevin Lee and Conor on the Ultimate Fighter, man. You got to get Kevin Lee through right here.
Yeah, bro.
Hey, Kevin Lee, if he finds a way to hear this, just make it to decision, man. They got your back.
You think Kevin Lee would win over Conor?
No, I'm saying if Kevin Lee goes to decision against this guy Ferguson, they might have his back if we can get this Ultimate Fighter thing going.
Damn, bro, you crazy. But no, that would be such a big ultimate. Just Conor, and you're right. It would have to be someone in his division that he's gonna fight.
But there's only one more up and coming star that's in his division. It seems like Kevin Lee's the biggest upcoming.
Yeah, he's got more star potential. Tony Ferguson does really the trash talk or like the media. Kevin Lee likes the media, talks the shit, ready to entertain.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's the star. He's the one. Is Ferguson? I've heard of him, but it's like ain't like I'm like, who's Ferguson fighting next? I'm about to watch this fight. Yeah. Kevin Lee is like, I want to watch his next fight. You know, he's got that building potential, and everybody else in the division, he's almost beat already. It's like I'm in Conor shit or whatever.
Yeah, Kevin Lee. He's seeing with all these people waiting on Conor. These guys aren't taking the fight with Kevin Lee. Like he hasn't beat the top 5 guys, but everyone who takes the fight with, he's pretty much beat. He's been calling everyone out because you got Khabib missing weight, injury, religion. He fights like once a year when we're lucky. Then you got ranked number 2 Tony Ferguson, who's been waiting on that guy. Then you got 3 and 5 Eddie Alvarez, Justin Gaethje. They're on the Ultimate Fighter. They can't take the Kevin Lee fight. Number 4 Barboza, he's injured. He can't take the Kevin Lee fight because people are saying Kevin Lee's ranked number 7. Why is he getting the title shot instead of fighting these top contenders? He's pulling them all out. They're all busy, injured, doing something else. Doing the Ultimate Fighter, Nate Diaz ranked above them, waiting on Conor. Literally, 1 through 6 is fucking stuck in the mud. And that's
I guess I should have said he had to beat everybody in the division. It's as far as the fights he's been in, I guess he's won. It's just them other guys in that division. I've heard of Khabib. I want to see him, but he's been sitting out. Ferguson, again, I'm not really interested in that. The Diaz, we know what he's waiting on. It's just, I guess the next biggest up and coming star is Kevin Lee. As far as Conor McGregor potential, there's Kevin Lee. Because even the other guys we're talking about, they're never going to be huge stars. It's like you can be the champion, you can win, but you're going to be somewhere around Mighty Mouse range.
Yeah, they don't have that it factor. Like Kevin Lee's got that it factor to me. He's quick with the trash talking shit.
Like, I've only seen that one press conference. I haven't even seen. You've probably seen him talk more than I have. But just from what I've seen that right there, it's like he could be a star.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. He's one dude that could probably hang with Conor on the trash talk. Conor though. With the money, though, nobody can fuck with Conor on really. But Kevin Lee would have some slick shit to say, bro.
Well, see, you don't have to have money to talk shit back. But if Conor's beat you already, too, if he's beat you already and he's killing you in the money talk, you're in trouble. Yeah. Kevin Lee can just be like, "Hey, how much money you got? I'm gonna whoop your ass," And that's like, well, shit, let's see. But the minute he beats you once, it's like, well, he did beat your ass already. Like, just sit down, man. Maybe you'll win the fight. Let's wait and see. That's why Aldo and
Alvarez work. But Nate Diaz can kind of say, I beat your ass twice, even though Conor has a W. I want to see the Nate Diaz fight happen, but I honestly think Conor, if Kevin Lee won, Conor versus Kevin Lee on the Ultimate Fighter every fucking week would be bigger than Nate Diaz 3.
If he's interim champion, he's that's got to happen. They got to fight after that too. And that'd be the best thing for the UFC ever right there.
Bro, if they had the champion and the interim champion on the Ultimate Fighter, holy fuck, that would be so big. This is a
wide prediction, but I bet you every single week there'd be more people watching that than UFC 205. Every single week on that Ultimate Fighter.
And I mean, that was a pay-per-view, so you're probably just right, just because that was a pay-per-view and that would be free TV. But the numbers, it would do record-breaking numbers. I do believe, and that's fucking huge. But that goes into the fact.
And if he's on TV, you might be able to pay Conor that 20-something million he's gonna want if it's on TV. Because I'm sure there's a lot more money involved there.
Because the people on TV on the biggest shows make money, and everybody's going to be tuning in to watch Conor every fucking week with the trash talk, with the training, and then you get some people fucking around and fighting. Every fucking week you get a little fight too. You know, the people, you're going to still catch that storyline with the Conor Kevin Lee every week. You're still going to get the story of all those fighters. You're going to fuck whoever wins that is going to be a fucking star. You're going to fuck around and build stars. You're going to like a character that doesn't even win, and he's going to be a star from being on that series. That would fucking spread, man.
Oh yeah.
That would be so dope. But now, Conor McGregor's got a pay-per-view coming up in September. It's not a fight. He's doing an interview. He's did this before once. $5 pay-per-view. Tune in. Somebody interviews him, and you see, ask him about everything. Ask anything you want. It's a ask me anything pretty much with Conor McGregor, but he's doing it on pay-per-view. He did it for $5 before. This one's probably going to be $5, and we're probably going to get an answer to a lot of shit. But before this, I never heard about that fucking Conor McGregor on the Ultimate Fighter idea, and I think that's fucking a great idea because it'd be on big TV. Like, they could do that on Big Fox or Fox Sports 1. Everybody would tune. Bro, whatever channel got that show would be a bigger channel. Like, that's huge.
What if the UFC made it, like, they could make a channel? You know how the ESPN makes all these Red Zone, and then each team has their own channel.
Fight Pass.
Again, I mean, maybe if someone would buy the show from them, they could make a lot of money. But I guess I don't know way near enough about all this stuff. But like, if they put that on only their channel, I bet the subscriptions would have to go up.
Oh yeah, Fight Pass.
Like, I mean, but again, there's so much streaming and shit. It's like if Fight Pass is $10 a month, if they were to put that shit on Fight Pass, I bet those numbers would just skyrocket. Something like that. Like I was thinking as far as just a normal channel, like if there's a UFC, cable channel or something, if they put that on there. But or if they even, I'm thinking TNT. That's where a lot of the UFC shit is.
They're on Fox Sports 1 right now.
So Fox Sports 1, Fox should have enough money to pay for this idea too, man. Fox can invest some millions in this shit or something, but
Showtime was talking about getting interested in MMA, bro. Showtime.
I'm really, the more we talk about it, the better it seems. It's like it's the most real idea. So it's like I damn near want to quit talking about it just because.
It's great. No, we need to, because we're not going to be able to put that goddamn idea in motion. We need to get this shit out there, bro. That's a great idea. I'm going to do a separate whole fucking video on Conor McGregor to the Ultimate Finale, or the Ultimate Fighter. And this is one thing I have to say about the Ultimate Fighter. They've been putting the coaches on there aren't their big stars. I don't know if it's because they don't want to pay the coaches. One second. I don't know if it's because they don't want to pay the coaches or what, but I think they would have to find a way to get Conor McGregor enough money, but that could make the whole show huge again because the end of the fight wouldn't turn out like fucking Rampage Rashad. It'd be an actual good fight.
Yeah, well, I thought it doesn't have to be Fox, but somebody would pay for this idea, I'm sure. After the numbers McGregor and Floyd just did, somebody's going to see the numbers that want to see Conor, you know what I mean? And somebody would pay for this idea. It's just, I guess, a matter of would Conor want to do it? Can Kevin Lee win? Because, like, my thing is, if it was Conor versus, I haven't seen enough of Ferguson. Like, I'd probably still watch it just because Conor's there, honestly, Conor versus Ferguson. But it's like, if he sounds like Mighty Mouse or like Nate Diaz, like, I can't.
He's a little cringy with the trash talk.
Again,
it's not about he's all bark, and it's not about the size of the dog. It's about the size of the bark. And I bring some bite with me, too. It's like, what?
I kind of watched it. You sound like the guy from what Friday movie was that? Like, no more locked doors.
Bro, that's what he's like.
If that's what he sounds like, I would watch that. Okay, so we just got to get Conor back on the Ultimate Fighter, and whoever else they get on there, it's a done deal.
That's what I'm saying. It could be Ferguson or Lee.
Yeah, okay. See, I haven't seen Ferguson.
A verbal chance, and I think Kevin Lee would be a bigger star.
Yeah, Kevin Lee definitely has star potential. I just haven't seen Ferguson enough.
Tony Ferguson's cleared out the division. He's on the 9. Tony Ferguson's cleared out the division more than Kevin Lee. He's fought a lot more guys, but he's 29. Kevin Lee's only 24, and Kevin Lee fights hella. He's already got he's 16-2 in some years. Tony Ferguson fights active too. He's just been waiting on Khabib because he's on a 9-fight winning streak and he wants his fucking title shot. So he wants Khabib or Conor. So he's just waiting on his title shot. Now that he's getting his title shot, he'll fight anybody for the title. He just wants the title on the line. So now that's why he's fighting Kevin Lee, because it's for the title. All them other dudes stuck in the mud. Tony Ferguson can't fight him just like Kevin Lee because they're all stuck in the mud doing something. So that's why. And now Tony Ferguson, that's my fucking dude. He's a entertaining fighter. He's on a 9-fight winning streak, but we've seen him fucking clipped and like on fucking eggshells and then recover and win that fight, and his shit could have been at the end of a streak. But he built his star not by trash talk, by winning fights. That's why people know who he is. That's the only reason people have heard of him, because he can't sell the fight like Conor and Kevin Lee as far as trash talk. He's getting better at it. Like he's going to like WWE school. Oh, okay, Michael. Okay, I got it. All right. My Michael's got to go pick up his daughter from school, man. He's running late. She gets out in like 10 minutes. He's running out the door, but that's all good. He's charged out here. He's got 10 minutes to get there. It's not that far away. But all right, so I'll just close it on this, man. The Ultimate Fighter, I don't know what's up with the biggest coaches and whether they don't have as big of stars as they used to, or if they could get Conor McGregor to do it, how much they would have to pay him. But I do think that would be insane. If they could get Conor McGregor back on the Ultimate Fighter, I think it would boost. People would go back and watch his previous season versus Uriah, because I don't think the Ultimate Fighter with Uriah had enough. Conor wasn't as big as he is now. I just think that if the UFC could do any type of TV show with Conor versus somebody, the Ultimate Fighter is already perfect. If they could get Conor McGregor on the Ultimate Fighter, that would get Conor McGregor out every week. It could build stars from the winner of that. All right, but I'm going to do that on a separate video, man. This was the second episode of the motherfucking Big Brother Beatdown. Motherfucking, you seen I just won. The Big Brother had to take the fuck off. He disagrees. He doesn't think Daniel Cormier is the GOAT. I think he's fucking crazy. We're going to have to agree to disagree on that, because he wasn't hearing me out. He thinks DC's disqualified because he took a loss. He took the way he lost to John Jones, but everybody in the GOAT class has lost except for John Jones. So I don't think that disqualifies DC. And John Jones was dirty. He believes pretty much everybody's on some stuff. I know a lot of you guys believe that too. But if you don't get popped by USADA and John Jones and Brock Lesnar and Junior Dos Santos and all these guys are getting popped by USADA, I'm not going to say a guy's dirty or even think he's cheating just because he hasn't got popped by USADA. You can call me naive because you think everyone's on something, but I don't. I think Daniel Cormier is clean, and that's why I think Daniel Cormier is the GOAT. And because he's beat dirty fighters before. John Jones is just on a whole new level whenever he's dirty. And for John Jones to feel like he needed to use steroids in the rematch lets you know what John Jones thinks about Daniel Cormier. If he thought Daniel Cormier was an easy fight, he would have stayed clean for that fight, and he wouldn't have cheated when he knows USADA's looking for him, when he knows he's getting drug tested, when he knows he's already been reckless. He wouldn't have felt the need to cheat against somebody that he has already beat if he felt like he could do it clean. So I believe Daniel Cormier is the GOAT regardless of what he was thinking. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, man. It is what it is. Let me and Michael and everybody else know what the fuck you're talking about in the comments. Dude, you want to say bye?